Ah, the paradox of the wise fool, a timeless and intriguing theme woven throughout the fabric of storytelling. It's that delightful twist in tales where the fool is not quite the fool, but rather the clever puppet master dressed in motley clothes. Now imagine finding yourself in a dimly lit upscale lounge, a haven for the so-called elite, a veritable sanctum for intellectual giants and social butterflies alike, who gather around a circular table laced with finery and sparkling crystalware. Their polished laughs echo against the softly lit walls. But in the heart of this circle, a different sort of spectacle unfolds. It's a jester, flamboyant in patterns that clash and dance as he moves, performing a little act that seems, if you glance quickly, slightly inept. The room's unofficial ringleader, the mocker, a man who wears arrogance like a crown, points a cocky finger at the jester, a loud laugh escaping his lips. He's vibrant, he's excited, certain in his belief that he's not only amongst his own but above them. He jeers, delightedly. Look at this guy. Can't even catch the ball. Total joke. Imagine waking up and deciding to look like that. It's embarrassing. He sees only the surface, only the glitter outshone by the gold of his meandering thoughts. But the observer, seated quietly, eyes like slits beneath a furrowed brow, watches not the hands in fumbled display, or the laughter that rings sharp and cruel, but the jester's eyes. Those clever eyes say much without uttering a single word, and instead of joining the ringleader's merriment, the observer simply asks, with a relaxed, knowing grin, "Is it?" This query catches the mocker off guard. He blinks, his laugh hanging mid-flight. Of course, he's a fool. He doesn't know we're laughing at him, not with him. He lacks the awareness to see he's the punchline. The observer leans forward, catching more than a stray glimpse of the narrative unfolding, understanding there's a much larger script at play. She points to the jester's feet, subtly suggesting that maybe, perhaps, the joke isn't quite as transparent as it seems. Here is where the story bifurcates into two distinct archetypes. The mocker is ever the blind reveler, using jest as a front, a mask for his own insecurities and misunderstandings. To him, what's different is inherently laughable, foolish, something to taunt rather than understand. It's easier to mock than to grapple with the complexity of what he fails to grasp. Laughter for him becomes a misguided representation of power, when in reality it showcases ignorance. The jester, meanwhile, isn't new to this charade. As though performing a trick meant to mislead, he drops a ball with apparent carelessness, leading the table to erupt in derisive laughter once more. "See, incapable, a complete clown," the mocker crows, his voice reaching an unnecessary crescendo. But the observer alone catches the slight pause in the jester's movements, notices the deliberate timing. The seeming mistake wasn't a fluke, it was a deft distraction. Leaning forward, the observer counters softly, "Actually, he dropped the ball the exact second you reached for your drink. Distracted you so completely with his failure that you didn't notice how he swapped your expensive wine for vinegar at that precise moment." And there it is. The mocker freezes, his smirk wavering in the air, suddenly tasting his drink with a grimace of disbelief. "What? How?" he stutters, unwilling to reconcile. In a voice that envelops the scene, the unseen narrator elucidates, explaining the dynamic. The jester, clothed in paint and festooned in seeming folly, sees beyond skin and facade. He doesn't laugh at mere blunders or mishaps. No, his laughter, magically and mystically informed, speaks of the deeper truth of the ego, mirroring human pettiness. With a wink shared with the observer, the jester stands taller, shifting from the fumbled movement into a fluid elegance as though casting off shackles. Their role, as now reversed, he's orchestrated the symphony of folly in the room. You call him a clown because he doesn't fit your norm, the observer smiles with the glint of revelation dawning. But while you were busy trying to turn him into a joke, he turned you into the performance. He used your own laughter to blind you. The mocker gazes around, eyes darting with growing panic. "I'm not the joke," he insists futilely. "He is! Look at him!" Combustion of indignation sending shame spiraling through him. But the observer, now undeniably astute, presses onwards, laying bare the irony that dances at the scene's edge. The paradox of the clown is simple. The one who laughs at the costume probably wears the biggest mask. The jester isn't the fool, he's the one truly aware of why everyone acts how they do. In this symphony of ironies, the jester bows, a deep gesture filled not with submission, but the mastery of his craft, inviting the mocker to take the stage. "The floor is yours, sir. You're doing a much better job of entertaining the room than I am," he gestures with a flourish. And there, beneath the sparkle and masks, lies the truth of the wise fool. The power of the jester is not in what he outwardly displays, but in the unseen strings he so deftly controls. In this tapestry of jest and earnestness, the truth is simple yet eternally profound. A jester wears the bells to dangle ignorance and sway ego, each ring and laugh, a testament to his gentle domination of the human comedy. As the mocker confidently steps forward, his eyes gleam with a mischievous light, fully aware of the audience's eager anticipation. The hall buzzes with an expectant energy, everyone leaning in, not wanting to miss a word of what promises to be an unforgettable monologue. Here, the mocker is not just a performer. He's a mirror reflecting the foibles and absurdities of those who surround him, wielding irony like a scalpel carved with precision and humor. "Ladies and gentlemen," he begins, his voice smooth and inviting, "where else but in a court, surrounded by nobles and their ambitions, can one truly appreciate the splendor of folly? After all, are we not all, in some way, jesters in our own right?" His gaze sweeps the room, catching the eyes of nobles who shift uncomfortably in their seats, while a subtle nod to the recently empowered jester earns a respectful bow in return. "Imagine," he continues, "a world where commoners wear the crowns and kings are made to dance for coins. Are we then not witnesses to a reversal of roles, blurring lines between performer and audience, power and servitude?" His words, draped in irony, ripple through the audience, eliciting a careful blend of laughter and introspection. He motions to the grand chandeliers above, their candlelight flickering like stars in the night sky. "Like these lights," he says, "our roles shift. They cast both illumination and shadow. But tell me, what is more valuable, a dazzling crown or the jester who makes you laugh despite wearing none?" The room falls into a contemplative silence. Around him, expressions change as realization dawns. Truths hidden in jest are more potent than 100 whispered gossip. Here this mocker stands not on stage, but amidst the convoluted dance of life, his words weaving humor and insight with seamless grace. Enough philosophy, you might say. Where is the comedy in all of this? Ah, but it's there. You need only listen closely. His chuckle is low, inviting the crowd to join him in this unspoken joke. Beginning to pace, his performance takes on the rhythm of a dance. Oh, the sublime irony of laughter at the unexpected. The audience watches, absorbed by the compelling cadence of his steps, as he spins tales of court life, clever observations of everyday absurdities, and sweet narratives that blend both laughter and an unnameable poignancy. The hour sails by, marked not by the ticking of any clock, but by the surges of laughter and silent, thoughtful pauses. His performance is a tapestry woven of entertainment and enlightenment, leaving his audience both satisfied and yearning for more. In the final moments, he stands amidst the applause. The room erupts into cheers, acknowledging not only the masterful performance, but the deeper reflection. "To jest is to tell the truth," he says with a bow, and as the mocker exits the stage, he leaves behind a room forever changed by his words.